Another side of the argument. Get Jimmy the hell out of here, right? Just get him out of here and start Trey.
Get him out of here.
Get him out of here. What are you talking about? Get him out of here.
Yeah.
Because who cares if he has no trade value, right? Holding on to him because you're saying to yourself, we need to get something back is costing you $25 million against the cap this year that can be used on other players, or better, save for next year and use to sign your own free agents, of which you have a large number.
I also think it's costing the 49ers a legit chance to win the Super Bowl. I know they're telling themselves like, well, you need the vet to win a Super Bowl. No, I think you can win a Super Bowl with a rookie quarterback as long as he proves it that he's ready. He doesn't be great, just ready in preseason. You can't win a Super Bowl paying Jimmy all this money. It's too much. If you got rid of him and spent that money on 3 or 4 players, you'd have a team that's as good as any team in the league. Right now, I feel like they're not quite there.
You could get another edge rusher, another cornerback, another backup offensive lineman. Yes. Another safety.
Yes.
You could deal with whatever you want. You could deal with some injuries during the season. Right now, we are up against the cap. When we have injuries, we are now eating in next year's cap.
Yes.
By pushing money down the road, right? It's insane. It really is. I
almost feel like you're sacrificing, like you're pushing the Super Bowl window down a year. You're acting like you're keeping it open from 2 years ago. That's over.
Right.
The new window is with Trey Lance, and if you don't, it doesn't open until he gets on the field, and Jimmy Garoppolo's contract's off the books.
Got to be off the books. And look at the fact that no one else is willing to trade anything substantial for Jimmy G, right? You're holding on to him because you say, well, we have to get something in return, but no one wants to give you anything. Why is that? Right. Why is that? Well, it's because they want a starting quarterback as well. They want someone that can be healthy and on the field. And Jimmy just unfortunately isn't that guy. He's continually hurt. And he's going to get injured at some point this season. Now you're not getting anything back in the offseason, and you've spent the $25 million.
And why does Jimmy get hurt? Because he's a slow decision maker and he can't move. I mean, sometimes the ball comes out of his hand quickly, but when there's like 3 or 4 times a game where he just freezes. And it's like watching someone play Madden and they drop the controller or something. It's like, dude, what happened, man? And he just takes these hits.
You can see the gears seize up in his head right before he throws that one pick where you're like, what was that?
Yep. And there's more. I mean, I don't know what the Niners think they're going to get for Jimmy. Like the book is out on him. He's not that great, and everyone knows it. He turns the ball over too much. He stares down receivers. He doesn't throw deep. He doesn't throw outside the numbers. He doesn't move. I mean, there was a lot of mystique when he was 16-2 as a starter. But now, I mean, if any GM went to his team's defensive coordinator and said, hey, we're thinking about trading a first-round pick for Jimmy, what do you think? I'd be like, well, here's my game plan for him. Here's my scouting report to him. What do you think? I just don't think they're ever going to get this magical first-round pick that they're holding out for. I think they're kidding themselves on that front.
Yeah, so it's foolish to hold out if you're only getting a second next offseason after Jimmy has a slightly successful year. You've now wasted all that time in developing Trey, and you're only getting a second back when you could probably, at this point in time, still get a 5th or a 6th for him from a team that wants someone to compete in training camp. And that brings up the point of you don't want to waste the valuable starts that should be going to Trey Lance. The guy hasn't played since, a year removed. You have one game that was kind of a consolation game. But you need to get him back in there. You need to get his feet wet. You can't have him sitting on the bench watching a guy who doesn't possess the same skill set. You need him in there learning the speed of the NFL.
Agree. And, Jimmy, we talked earlier about how he knows the offense. He's been in the offense. I mean, he just doesn't act like someone who's mastered it still. He just doesn't. He's not a cerebral quarterback. He still looks confused a lot of the time. I mean, I think there's a high likelihood that Trey's just better than him. I mean, how about that? Why should Trey start week 1? Because he's probably just better than Jimmy. I mean, Jimmy's the vet, but he doesn't play like one. He's a turnover machine. He doesn't throw the ball down the field. This kid could really improve the offense in a lot of ways right off the bat.
Yeah, we have an improved offensive line, but they're all new playing together. So it's fair to
Yes.
assume that there's going to be some pressure, some coverage breakdowns, right? And Jimmy just can't escape that. When the pressure is in Jimmy's face, Jimmy gets hit. Jimmy fumbles. Jimmy gets hurt. When the pressure is in Trey's face, he's going to be able to escape the pocket. He's going to be able to roll out and throw a dime to Brandon Ayuk. That's what we should want to see from day one.
Trey Lance is going to be like one of these quarterbacks where he burns you so hard when you try to go in for the sack and makes you miss and makes plays that defensive linemen are going to be going to like, well, let's just contain him. Let's see if we can just keep him in the pocket. Now, one more thing I want to say. People are always like, well, he's not going to be ready, man. He played Division II. Come on, man. He played Division II. Just a second. Carson Wentz went to the same freaking school, all right? Carson Wentz, as a rookie, started 16 games for the Eagles and won 7 of them. They were not a good team, all right? Trey Lance is a better player than Carson Wentz. He's a better athlete than Carson Wentz. Went to the same school and is on a better team. If Carson Wentz can win 7 games on the Eagles, why can't Trey Lance win 10 on the Niners, 11, 12 on the Niners? I mean, why not? He basically just would come here and do exactly what he did at North Dakota State. Hand the ball off a ton, run it 4, 5, 6 times a game, throw it like 19 times a game. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
And
that's perfectly said in that just do what you have done. He had the most reps actually doing play action dropbacks, play action dropbacks where he turned his back to the defense and then came back around and made the throw. That's what you need to be able to do within Kyle Shanahan's offense. So whether he had more playing time than other quarterbacks is irrelevant. He has more time doing what he needs to do within this offense.
Right. So when you're talking about is he ready, like depends on what you're asking him to do. If you were on the Jets right now and they're like, man, we need you to play like Aaron Rodgers and throw 35 times a game. No, he's not ready for that. But is he ready to come to the 49ers and do pretty much the same stuff he did at North Dakota State, but instead of playing with whoever the hell he was playing with at North Dakota State, he's going to be throwing to George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk. I mean, I think he's ready to do that. Yes, I do.
Yeah, and we're limiting the number of throws you give to Jimmy anyway, so why not limit the number of throws you're giving to a rookie? And now you have a running threat.
I mean, how many throws that Kyle Shanahan calls per game for Jimmy are? How many of those? 3, 4? I mean, I think he can do that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think I might be able to complete that.
So yeah, I really think here's the clincher. Niner fans, as soon as they see Trey Lance for the first time, are going to be Mr. Hyde. It's just the fear of the unknown. You've seen Jimmy, you've seen him win, you've seen him in the Super Bowl. You have not seen Trey Lance, maybe at all. I mean, who's really seen North Dakota State? You've seen some highlights. You've heard me talk about him. Once you see Trey Lance in a Niners uniform in a preseason game, rolling out, throwing down the field, making pass rushers miss, scrambling, you're going to be like, yeah, I'm never going back. I'm never going back from this. It's like when you sit down in a really great chair. It's like, how have I missed? Or a king size bed. It's like, I'm never going back. I've upgraded my life, and this is it. That's how you feel. Yeah.
Don't go test drive a brand new car that you can't afford, because then your car is not going to feel the same, right?
That's how I feel about my Kia Stinger. I can never go down. This is the best. I love this car, and I'm getting it back from the shop today. Thank God.
You can't downgrade from that, right? You can't go back to some other lesser vehicle.
You'll feel like when you see Trey Lance, it'll be like test driving an Audi R8 or whatever after driving a Camry the last 5 years. It's like, ooh man, I really didn't know what I was missing. Like I was like really telling myself, it's nice. I get good gas mileage. It's good. I like that. It's clean. It was cost effective, although Jimmy's none of those things. But and you get in a new car, you're like, man, I don't understand how I lived this lifestyle before.
We are attached to a used car that's super expensive.
Yes.
Breaks down all the time.
Yes.
Doesn't have really great performance, is more of like a mid-sized sedan, but we're paying as if it's, an Italian sports car. And now we have a car that performs like an Italian sports car.
Kia Stinger.
But is really inexpensive.
Yes,
it's going to be hard to go back.
No, I got to say that Trey Lance is definitely the Kia Stinger in this analogy, and Jimmy is like, what is he? He's not a performance car. It's something really slow, like a luxury car that's slow. Yeah, he's like an Acura. He's like an Acura TSX that you bought somehow for like $150,000 because it was made in New England by Tom Brady or something. Some dumb reason. I'm sorry.
Because it was owned by John Voight.
It was owned by John Voight. You bought like a collector's item Acura TSX front wheel drive, 180 horsepower.
Like 90% of your audience won't understand that Seinfeld reference, but the people who get it will love it.